Oh, it's Petro Predictions here.
Despite qualifying for 6 World Cups, Tunisia has failed to progress from the group stage every single time, with probably their best opportunity coming in the last World Cup in 2022, when they did do well, but that result against Australia really made the difference. You'll be able to see in my other videos that I really thought Tunisia would break their World Cup group stage exit curse in the last World Cup in 2022. On a brighter note, Tunisia were the first African nation to ever win a football match in the FIFA World Cup. This came in 1978 against Mexico, in which they debuted that World Cup, and that was actually their first ever World Cup match as well, so things were looking progressive. However, Tunisia's next win within a World Cup would only come 40 years later in the 2018 World Cup, in which they won against Panama. However, though, that match was pretty much a dead rubber, as England and Belgium pretty much got through the group easily. So it's very clear that there is an issue within Tunisian football. Some people might say Tunisia's World Cup failures might be down to the Tunisian FA, with corruption there, or even the government getting involved and all these kinds of things. But something that really stood out to me was the constant change of managers Tunisia goes through. And for any Tunisians watching, please do let me know why this is. In 1994, Tunisia hired Henrik Kapsperchuk, and under him, Tunisia reached their best ever AFCON to that date in the 1996 AFCON, finishing as runners-up, losing out to South Africa. And subsequently, he led Tunisia to qualify for their first World Cup since their debut World Cup 20 years ago. However, though, he was fired during the 1998 World Cup because they lost their first opening 2 matches. But if you look at Tunisia's group in this World Cup, that is a difficult group considering those teams were really good back in the 90s. So maybe it's kind of harsh or high expectations they had around him of Tunisia progressing from their group, even though it was their first World Cup for 20 years. Looks like this inevitably started a trend for Tunisia to have a different manager every World Cup. Thereafter, Tunisia went through 4 different managers which they deemed unsuccessful before they landed their most successful manager in Roger Lemaire. He successfully won Tunisia their first ever AFCON in 2004 and the subsequent World Cup in 2006. He got them to qualify. So that was 3 consecutive World Cups for Tunisia right now. However, Lemaire was actually sacked after 2 consecutive quarterfinals in the AFCON. So it looks like Tunisia was already building quite high expectations of what they expected from their managers. So, you know, even their most successful manager still got the sack 4 years after winning a tournament. This sacking proved really costly for Tunisia, as they failed to win any knockout games within the AFCON for several years, and they failed to qualify for the subsequent World Cups. It wasn't doom and gloom for Tunisian football, as they returned back to the World Cup in 2018 under Nabil Ma'aloul, where they won their second ever World Cup game under him. However, though, he did decide to leave after the World Cup. He got offers from other clubs, but it seems a bit strange that he was there for such a short time and then jumped ship. Again, inconsistency in the coaching philosophy for Tunisian football to move forward. Further inconsistencies within the coaching staff continued for Tunisia, as they sacked Kabaye 2 months before the 2022 World Cup qualifying playoffs due to his inconsistent performances and results in the AFCON earlier that year. Yes, they got to the quarterfinals, but some very mixed results on the way to it. So instead, Tunisia thought to get a new coach, ensure they qualify for the World Cup, and that was Kadri's role, and he did do it successfully. However, such quick decisions and very short notice for managerial change don't always succeed. Yes, you've got a great success story in Regraoui for Morocco, which is wonderful, but the likelihood of that happening is so slim. Change of manager just before tournaments, just before important times, really is not the way forward for stability. However, though, Kadri did offer to resign after another group stage exit the past World Cup, though the Tunisian FA did offer him a contract extension for the next AFCON coming up. So maybe the Tunisian FA is realising there's need for some consistency and stability. Something else to note is that the Tunisian under-20 side has only been competing in AFCONs and the most recent World Cup this decade for the first time since back in the late 80s. So clearly there was an emphasis on developmental of the youth system. The national side has also benefited from many foreign-born Tunisian players choosing to represent Tunisia instead of their country of birth or where they were raised. And this is really encouraging to see that, these Tunisian players do see hope, do see faith, and really want to make an impact on Tunisian football. Whether it be economical reasons or the previous reasons I've mentioned before, there is clearly a fundamental structural and systematic issue within Tunisian football right now, which is hindering their progress within the World Cup. Any Tunisians watching, or those who just know better than me, please leave comments in the comment section below, as I am very interested why Tunisia does keep on failing to go past the group stage in World Cups. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.